we have officially reached dry, parched skin weather. That's how I like to refer to fall and winter. I have really oily skin naturally throughout most of the year, but once the colder weather hits and once the wind comes flying in, quite literally, my skin all of a sudden goes, and all the moisture is just, and the oil, everything is just sucked up. So there's half the year where I can really relate to my dry skin clients and my dry skin people out there that I talk to on a regular basis. This is the time, and I have carefully curated what I think, and I may be a little biased, but I think this is one of the best parched dry skin makeup tutorials that you could watch currently. So without further ado, this is Nikki Uncut, so we're gonna get right into it. And again, we're not gonna cut anything. This is part of my Nikki Uncut series, so I don't cut any of the process. You're gonna see the entire thing. So if this video ends up being a little bit longer, it is because of that. So first things first, if you have dry, parched skin, whether it's just for the fall, winter months, like for me, or if it's all year round, you have to start with a liquid toner, something that's going to quite literally be a tall drink of water for your skin. You can't just go in cold turkey, so to speak, with a thick moisturizer and expect that to give you like that plumped, hydrating feeling and look on your skin. You cannot just do one cream. That's just not going to be the reality. This is one of the best toners that I've tried, and I've been trying it for a long time. I'm shaking it off camera because you're supposed to shake this up. It is 2 different kinds of products in one. They emulsify together, and what they do is create such a beautiful thirst quenching canvas for the rest of your makeup to go on top. It's going to just quench your skin's thirst instantly. I'm a big fan of all the fresh toners. I talk about them all the time on my channel. They're a little pricey, however, they just do a great job of all the things they claim to do. So this is the Fresh Rose Deep Hydration. This is an oil infused serum. However, it's very liquidy. It's more of a thick liquid because it has oil. It's oil infused. So that's why you want to shake it really well. But this is going to be, let's roll up my sleeves for this. This is going to be the deepest hydration and comfort you could get on your skin. So I'm gonna pour this into my hand, okay? And you wanna work quick because A, it can run through your fingers and end up on your clothes. So hopefully that didn't end up on my shirt. But this is going to also dry down pretty quickly too. So you wanna get this onto your skin as quick as possible. And my gosh, my favorite time to put this on is fresh out of the shower. You know, when you just towel dried your face, your skin is like parched. This is the time to put this on. If you have deeply dehydrated, dry skin, oh man, you're gonna love how this feels on your skin. Now, just a little forewarning, and again, I mention this all the time, but I am an oily skin girl. I am more dehydrated and dry right now because of the weather change, but as we're doing this makeup tutorial, bear in mind, it's gonna look a lot less glowy on you than it is on me because of my skin type, but it's still gonna be very helpful to see firsthand how these products go on and how I'm going to layer them to achieve like a really beautiful, that was Tomas, a really beautiful, deeply hydrated, deeply moisturized, and also flawless complexion. So give that a couple seconds to absorb. My husband is gonna walk out here and maybe trip on something potentially. Hopefully not. Let's wish him luck that he doesn't trip on something. It's chaos in the studio right now. Oh, he made it out unscathed. Bye, Mitch. Say bye.
Bye.
He says bye. Okay, so just enough time for Mitch to get out of the studio. That has absorbed enough. And you'll see and you'll feel this if you try this at home. It's going to feel like you have just like a nice serum on your skin. It's going to feel so wonderful. I want to point out this does smell like roses, so if you're against the smell of roses, if it's just not your thing, don't say I didn't warn you, but I think it just kind of dissipates pretty quickly after, so you won't smell it throughout the day. Okay, so after that, if you have deeply dehydrated, parched skin, you need to follow up with something that's going to lock it in. This is not a cream that I would suggest using in the hot, humid summer months. This is strictly going to be something that you want to incorporate into your makeup routine for those dry winter and fall months, okay? So this is, wow, this is an amazing cream. It's also very affordable. It's from the brand NATURIUM. You know I love NATURIUM products because, well, A, they're really accessible, they're very affordable, and they work. So how many more boxes can you check, really? So this is the NATURIUM Multi-Peptide Rich Cream. I love peptides in general. Peptides are like part of the fountain of youth for your skin. They're amazingly nourishing for your skin as well. And I love them, especially for like more dry, mature clients or just dry skin in general. So you're going to take a small amount. And even if you have really dry skin, you know, you're doing this skin prep specifically for under makeup. So you still have to keep in mind, less is really going to be more. You want to get just enough on your skin to coat your skin properly and thoroughly, and don't get in your eye like I just did. But you don't want to overdo it, because the more product, if you put too thick of a layer, it's never going to have the chance to absorb and fully dry down. And therefore your makeup that you put on top is going to be just going to be a slip inside. I say that all the time, but it's going to just slip down and off your face, and that is really frustrating to deal with. So we don't want to do that. We want to avoid that. So less is more, but you'll love the way this feels, not only during the day, but my gosh, at night especially, this is incredible. So now I want to let that dry down quite a bit, because the next step is going to be our luminizer, our sunscreen, and our primer all in one. But we want to make sure we put that on top of skin that has had time to fully absorb. So this has to absorb a lot more before we get into that. So in that meantime, while that's drying down, since this is Nikki Uncut, we don't cut anything out, I want to talk about the foundations that I'm going to be putting on my skin for this video, because I have a lot of really amazing options for dry, parched, dehydrated skin for a complexion product. None of these are skin tints. If you want a dedicated video like this, but where I incorporate skin tints instead, leave that in the comments below and request that, and I'll definitely get that filmed. But for this video in particular, I wanted this to be the best routine for dry, parched, dehydrated skin that's also going to give you a flawless look. So in that case, we're going to opt for a foundation. They are more coverage, so therefore they're going to end up looking more flawless on your skin. The one that I'm going to be wearing today, as a heads up, is going to be the new Vive Skin Nova Complexion Balm. This is fantastic. This looks so beautiful on, feels so comfortable, and it wears a really long time. So that's what I'm going to be opting to wear. But I want to show you 3 other really fantastic options in case you have those at home, or in case you've been curious about them and you want to know my thoughts. And also, because this is a UK brand, it can be a little bit more difficult for some of us to get this, and the shipping cost can be a lot more money. So these are going to be more US based that I'm about to show you. So these 3 right here are also incredible options for dry, dehydrated, parched skin for winter for a flawless look. I mean, and that's the last time I'm going to say that, I promise. If not, keep me accountable and like comment below how many times I've said that sentence throughout this video. The first one is the Fenty Soft Lit Foundation. Love this. This is like buttery, juicy perfection on your skin and incredibly easy to work with, but also incredibly long wearing for a luminous foundation, which is not something that those two things don't usually go hand in hand. Usually, generally speaking, luminous means not going to be as long lasting. Not in this case with the Fenty one. Fantastic. The other one that I am, this is not for my skin type. I'm just going to put it out there. This one is just too dewy for my skin type. But if you are really, really dehydrated and dry, and you want a really natural look to your foundation, because this is going to give you quite a bit of coverage. This is going to be a little less coverage, so it's going to look overall more natural. Still look flawless and pretty, but this is going to be much more better suited for deeply dehydrated, deeply dry skin. So Patrick Ta Major Skin Hydro Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. For reference on the color, I wear the shade 13 Olive, and it's like a spot on color for me. It's like perfection. And also, I didn't mention this, but the Fenty one that I wear is 230, and this also is a perfect match for me as well. So those two phenomenal options. The Fenty is a little bit less pricey than the Patrick Ta, but the Patrick Ta is a beautiful formula. So the last one that I want to talk about, and my gosh, this is such a comfortable, hydrating, wonderful foundation. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Foundation. This is serum based. It's going to add even more comfort and another level of hydration on your skin, and feels so beautiful on, and it wears also a really nice long time. I'd say this is in line as far as coverage goes with the Fenty, and out of the 3, this is the less coverage. And then out of all 4, this is going to give you about as much coverage as I'd say it's going to give you a little bit more coverage than the Patrick Ta, but it's kind of a little step down from this one. I hope that all that makeup math, it makes sense. It made sense in my head as I was saying it. Okay, since we've chatted a lot, we can now get into the final step in prepping our dry, dehydrated, parched skin. I said it again. This is a product that I didn't love so much in the summer. However, I have been absolutely loving it for the winter, and well, we're in fall, but we're leading into winter, obviously, depending on when you're watching this. This is the Naked Sundays Cabana Glow Mineral Glow Serum Drops. You know, all these names are so long-winded. Sometimes I'm like, I need to take a breath in between these names because they get longer and longer. So this is they actually make many of these, okay? And I actually want to show you these really quick because there's a bronze one, which is also nice. But I really tend to like the pearl one the most for whatever reason. It's just really beautiful on. So shake it up really well. This is mineral based, so if you don't like chemical sunscreens, you're going to really like this one. And also, it's going to give you this beautiful luminosity under your makeup. It's going to nicely peek through and look really pretty. And it's also just going to be your sunscreen. It's got SPF 50, which is fantastic. So shake it up really well. And I'm going to start lathering this on. Now with this product, you want to really work this into your skin. Like you want to work it in. And it takes a minute because this does have like a luminous pearlescent tint to it. So if you don't take the time to really rub it in, your complexion underneath, see that right there? And right here, it's going to look streaky. So take a bit more time to really work it. Oh, getting so many things in my eyes today. Take the time to really work it into your complexion, and you'll know when it's rubbed in. Now, I started this makeup look, or this video, excuse me, with my eye makeup clearly already on and my brows, because the eye makeup is just, it really doesn't have anything to do with dried, parched, dehydrated skin. So what I would suggest, and what I did off camera, was I did the same skincare routine on my eyelids, except I cut it down quite a bit. I did not use this on my eyes, and I actually did not use this on my eyes. I just put this on my eyes because if I'm going to do one form of cream under my eyes or on my eyelids, sunscreen is the most important for me. So I just added this to my eyes, and it was enough moisture for me. But again, if you're doing this at home, depending on how dry your eyelids are as well, you could follow the same exact routine, but I would make sure you're following the less is more mindset for your eyelids, because if you put too much on your eyelids, it's going to cause your eye makeup to crease like no other, and it's going to suck it up. So adding a bit more, and you'll see too, like it does make me look a little pale because of the pearlescent glow, but once you put your makeup on, it doesn't look like that. If you have deeper skin at home, if you have much deeper skin than me, you're going to want to opt for the bronze one. This is going to give you the perfect same finish, but without that more light, white, reflective bounce back that this is giving. Okay, rub it into my hands. I already have my sunscreen on my hands as well, so I'm just going to rub in the leftover. So that is on, and again, you do want to let this kind of dry down and do its thing and chill. And since we're not cutting this video up, I'm going to do something to speed up the process, because normally I would just cut this out. Now in this meantime, what I would suggest you do is your eye makeup, your brows, maybe make some coffee, make your smoothie, make your breakfast, you know, whatever it is you're doing in the morning. If you're doing this for your morning makeup routine, try to fill your time with something productive so you're not just sitting there idly wasting, you know, your time while this is drying down and absorbing. But this is a very important thing because we're layering so many high moisture, ooh, that tingled, products on our face. So you can't just keep throwing one wet product after another on and then put your foundation right directly on top of that and expect your makeup to last. So letting these products dry down properly in between is going to allow your makeup to stay on your skin, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to get your makeup on. So take the time, like I said. If I hadn't done my eye makeup already, I would be doing my eye makeup in between while this is drying down. So instead we're just cheating with our little Half Magic fan. So thank you, Half Magic. This has saved me on many occasions, my gosh. Alrighty, I'm going to bring my mirror closer, which I forgot to do earlier. And we're going to dive into now the foundation. So Vive Skin Nova Complexion Balm. I wear the shade 210. I'm going to squeeze this out on the top of my hand. like that. Now here's where it's gonna get more interesting. I'm actually gonna use my N15 powder brush with BK Beauty, and we're gonna fully saturate this brush, and we're gonna kind of, we're gonna prep it. We're gonna get it nice, pre-blended, like this. And then start to pounce it on top. Now, one thing I want to point out also, I mean, amongst many other things I've pointed out throughout this video, is when you are layering lots of products of skin prep, moisturizer, sunscreen, all those things that we just layered on our skin, you want to make sure that you don't get in and like dig up those products and muddy it up with the rest of your foundation. You want to make sure you're careful, and you want to switch up your application technique to like a pouncing tapping motion. Like I always say on my channel, you're gonna tap, 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 right? Just remember to tap, tap, tap. I'm telling you, it's very important. I say it for a reason. I want you to pounce it, tap it, whatever you want to call it. Just don't dig up the foundation and don't dig into that skin prep, because you'll be really unhappy with what's going to happen if you do. So there are certain areas you can like apply like a light blend, you know, like around the jawline, because it's quick and easy. But otherwise, stick to the tapping method. Now, I wish you could feel how my skin feels at home. I'm adding a little bit more foundation to build up the coverage, because remember, this is like more of a light to medium coverage, but buildable. So we're going to build up the coverage because I'm a coverage girl. I like my coverage. But this whole routine feels so skin quenching. Like my skin feels instantly quenched and so deeply like nourished and hydrated. And comment below too, if you're like me and your skin goes from severely oily to severely parched, and I say parched with a P, because I would love to know if I'm not alone with this, because I can really relate to having to switch up my skin prep and my makeup routine in the dry fall and winter months. So if you're like me and you go from, you know, one side to the complete opposite, let me know. And also let me know in the comments if you try this routine out. If you do, I would really love to hear your feedback, because I am confident you're gonna be obsessed. All right. So again, lots of tapping. I'm not worrying too much about my nose, because when I'm using more of a luminous foundation, I just know it's not going to stick to my nose, so I kind of just graze over it, knowing that I'm going to go back with a more full coverage concealer that's going to have a bit more gripping power. All right. That feels amazing. Looks super nice. I'm going to put my rings back on. And then before we go into concealer, I'm actually going to do some soft bronzing, and a new product that I think is just so good, so inexpensive. This is like $8. It's the e.l.f. bronzer and contour. I wear the shade light medium. It's a liquid bronzer. It is very similar. I just want to point this out. It's very similar to the Makeup by Mario, and I also love this, but I've talked about it a lot. And I'd say if you have it and you don't have this, then use this for the routine that we're showing in this video. But if you're looking for something like this and you don't want to spend a lot of money, I would say get the e.l.f. one and you'll absolutely love it. The Mario and the e.l.f., they're just pretty much the exact same texture and finish, except this one does have a little bit more pigment to it. So maybe a little bit more bold. If you're going for more natural, do the Mario. But as far as like for dry, dehydrated skin, either formula is going to work really, really well. So I'm going to take the doe foot applicator. And we're going to go to town, bronzing and sculpting all the usual areas that you see me do. So it's going to look wild like it always does. Let's do a little jaw. And let's hope I don't forget about that. So this doesn't need any time to dry down. You can dive right in, and I've actually really been enjoying using my N17 to blend out cream bronzer and liquid bronzer. So I'm going to use the lighter fiber side, but I'm also just going to be not very precious, and I'm going to use both ends where they meet. Can you see that? To just buff out and blend out really naturally this bronzer contour duo. whatever you want to call it. It's obviously a bronzer, but you can use it to sculpt your face as well. Now, even though you saw me do a little bit of back and forth movement, I wasn't digging into all those layers of hydration and stuff. So tapping it in on my cheeks. Let's not forget about the jaw. You know, one of the reasons why I don't contour my jaw pretty much ever is because I know probably like 8 out of 10 times I'm going to forget that it's there. I'm going to walk outside, I'm going to go to work, and then I'm going to look in the mirror and realize, oh, I never blended out. There's a mosquito in here. I never blended out that contour. Whoa, go away. So let's blend that out before we forget. Tapping it in. It is so soft and just melts into the skin with such ease. And it's not to say that oily people cannot use this product. You absolutely can. I just think it's a really nice, lightweight bronzing product for dry, dehydrated skin and for the winter months. I go back to my foundation. I went a little too low with that one. There we go. I'm going to pinch my N17 brush, excuse me, and blend out the nose. And it's going to be really messy, and it's okay because we're going to clean it up with concealer. So it's really just all about getting it overall on the nose and blending it out, and then you'll see how we're going to perfect it. Just like that. Okay, I'm excited for this next product because I have 2 concealers that I've been loving and recommending nonstop online. If you've talked to me, if you reach out to me, these are the 2 concealers I've been suggesting the most for dry under eyes and just dry skin in general. The Tower 28 Swipe Concealer is a holy grail for that. It is amazing. It's so comfortable on. It wears a really long time. It gives you really flawless coverage. And I'd say this is a good full coverage concealer while not feeling heavy or dry or just, you know, like Tarte Shape Tape under your eyes. You know, like that feeling? It's not like that at all. And then the other one is a new favorite. This is so hydrating, so lightweight. I'd say this is a teeny bit less coverage than the Tower 28. So depending on what you're looking for, either one is going to be a really great option. I'm going to probably go for the Kulfi because I've been loving the way this feels so much. And I've already shown the Tower 28 so much on my channel. But both, just know, are fantastic. And both will be linked in the description box for you to check out. So in Kulfi, this is the main match concealer. I wear the shade Cocoa Crush. And it has a really nice lightweight consistency to it, and it just feels very, very hydrating on. It's really a fantastic concealer. So I like to line this up along the side of my nose, and of course anywhere I have the most redness, and then I'll bring out a little bit. I will say less is more with both concealers. You do not need a ton of it to get a really great amount of coverage, so just a little warning. I always tend to end up using just too much of this product because I can't stop myself. And let's do a little highlighting right here. That looks good. And now I'm going to grab my last clean N14 brush, and you're just going to tap it in. So same rules apply, you know, think about and take into consideration all those layers of hydration and moisturizer and then sunscreen and then foundation that you have on and now bronzer, and don't try to dig in there and swipe too hard back and forth because you're just going to disrupt all those layers of moisture and you're going to create a soupy mess. So just be careful. Use the tapping motion. So you can see I use this to highlight certain areas as well. So the center of the forehead right between my brows, and I'll tap along the bridge of my nose for like a really soft highlight effect. Just like that. Such a good formula. Such a great formula for hydration. Gonna go back to, okay, this little gnat has to go. It's like, I don't know, it's like they got the memo that I'm filming a Nikki Uncut, and all the gnats and the mosquitoes that like creep into my studio were like, today's the day. She can't cut it out, so we're gonna pop in and torture her. So going back to my bronzer brush, and I'm just gonna blend out any excess areas just so they're nice and seamless. I did not dive into more bronzer. I'm just using whatever's left over, which is a really great method and technique to just melt the rest of the stuff in together. And that way you have no harsh lines, which is nice and soft and natural. So for blush, I have some really great options I want to talk about. And again, I'll link all the options, including the one I'm going to use on my skin. The one I'm going to actually use is one that I really did not like at first for my skin type. I thought it was way too glossy, way too glowy, way too luminous. But for this routine specifically, I think it's going to be a perfect fit. This is the Haus Labs, what are these actually called? Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balm. This is the shade Glassy Pomelo. It's a really pretty pink. I'm going to put this on in a second. But before I do, I also would recommend for dry, parched, dehydrated skin, thin, lightweight formulas, much like the e.l.f. Same idea is going to go into these next suggestions. This is the Armani Luminous Silk Cheek Tint. These are really thin, lightweight, that you could build them up or you can wear them really soft and natural. Really fantastic for dry skin or oily skin, but especially for dry skin. So they're going to feel really nice and comfortable. Another one that doesn't get talked about enough, but I really like this formula. I just only have one shade, and the shade's not going to go with the vibe I have on right now. It's the Dewy Plump Collagen Cheek Tint from Give. And this is the shade Purple Irises. Really pretty, great formula. Just as good as the Armani. Yeah, again, just no one talks about it. I kind of even forgot about it myself, to be quite honest. And lastly, it wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention this one. This is really great for a dewy, soft blush look. It's also a liquid. It's from Say. It's the Dewy Cheek Tint, I believe. And this is the shade Rosy. Again, really great if you have deeply dry, dehydrated skin. This is going to feel really, really nice. Now, to the one that I'm going to use. I'm going to use one of my favorite methods, which is just going to be, let's see, what clean brush do I have left? This is the question. You know, let's do, I love me the 106 brush. Let's go old school. I love this for contour and bronzer, but I'm going to use it for blush as well. It's also amazing for blush. So 106 from BK Beauty, and we're going to go, we're not going to swipe directly on because that's going to break up all those layers of, you know, you guessed it, hydration, foundation and all that stuff. So instead we're going to take brush to product, tap it on like that. If you're worried about the pigment overload, you could always pre-blend a bit on your hand and then you go and tap it on. And again, tap, tap, tap. But you can see this is a very glossy, dewy, like very, very dewy formula that is just really, really pretty on like deeply dehydrated skin. It is going to look, like I mentioned earlier, forewarning, it's going to look really, really shiny on my skin. So just take that with a grain of salt. It won't look as overly shiny on your skin if you have truly dry skin. But I don't, you know, I'm more of like I'm like a fraud when it comes to this. I'm a fraud because I only have dry skin in the fall and winter months. So tapping it on, it's a really pretty color. And just being gentle and tapping away. It's up to you how much blush you want to see. I'm going to take a little bit more and I'm going to just tap it on the bridge of my nose for that cute tie-in. I like that youthful effect. And let's just do a little swipe across the forehead for even more of like a healthy wash of color. Okay, so blush is on, and now we can start adding in powders. We're done with the creams, we're done with the liquids, which is great. We're gonna now add in the powders to set the makeup. Now, I wanna really drive this point across. If you have dry skin, please do not be afraid of using powder. It's still gonna be so beneficial for you to use at least some small form of powder to set your makeup into place. Otherwise, it's gonna crease and it's gonna settle and it's gonna look not as good as it possibly can look. So I have 2 powders that I highly recommend for dry, dehydrated skin. And remember, going into it, don't be afraid. Just remember to think less is more. Just set the areas that you know you need to. And like I like to call them the high traffic areas. So around the eyes where we smile, and also the T-zone just a little bit for safe measure. So 2 powders, one's pressed and one is the best pressed option for dry skin. It's pulled directly from my pro kit. I keep it in there for my dry skin clients, which is probably why you never really see it on my channel. And then the other one is loose. The loose one, I know I've been talking about this nonstop, but at least you know that I wholeheartedly love it and I completely recommend it. This I think is going to be a great option for dry skin. It's also great for oily skin too. It's a really universally friendly powder in my opinion, but the best part too is it's extremely blurring. And also very, very thin. It's extremely finely milled. So it's not going to feel like a heavy, cakey, pancakey kind of powder on your already dry skin, but it's gonna just lightly set your makeup if you use the right amount. So this is Fair Pink. I'm gonna take my cap, I'm gonna open it up. Let me grab another clean N14. Do we got one? Oh, this is clean. Clean enough, okay. So little makeup residue on this, but grab my N14 brush. This is my favorite brush for setting my under eyes. So what you're gonna do is I would just dip a little bit into the product, okay? Take that, that's too much. So you're gonna dip into the cap and you're gonna really work it into your brush and tap off the excess as much as possible because again, less is more, but I'm gonna hit under my eyes and I'm just going to press. You don't wanna swipe, you don't wanna go back and forth, you're gonna rip up that makeup, and it's gonna look terrible if you use that kind of technique. So you just wanna be really gentle and just tap it in. Okay, because you just wanna calm down the shine a little bit. You're not trying to go overly matte, you're just trying to lock the makeup into place so it wears, it's gonna increase the wear time, and it's gonna look overall just more flawless. So don't be afraid. If you prep your skin accordingly, if you prep it the right way, if you're using the right formulas for your makeup routine, don't be afraid to add a little bit of powder. It's not gonna ruin the feeling of your skin. It's not gonna dry it out. I promise you that. So a little above my lip because it's a little too shiny. A bit on my chin. And again, this is where you're gonna use your best judgment. You're gonna know when it feels right to stop with the powder based on like how dry your skin actually is. So I'm gonna stop about here. And I wanna show you the pressed powder as well because it's a fantastic option for deeply dehydrated skin. It is a little bit pricier and it could be a little bit more difficult to find. It's not sold at like major retailers, so you'd have to get it online, I believe. I buy it from a local beauty supply store called Nigel Beauty Emporium, and I get a professional discount, which is amazing. But otherwise, I believe they're easily available on like, if you're in the UK, you can also find By Terry at Space & K. Anyway, I'll link it below. Don't you worry, you can find it easily because of me. This is the hyaluronic pressed Hydra powder. This has 8 times hyaluronic acid technology infused in the powder. It's a pressed powder. It not only will help to lock your makeup into place, it offers incredible pore refinement, incredible smoothing, a blurring, filtered look to your skin. It is ideal for dry, mature skin. This is why I keep it in my pro kit. It is a staple in my life. It's just fantastic. So we're gonna take the same N14 brush and I'm gonna show you what this does on my complexion, okay? Very lightweight, very, very undetectable. Like you're not gonna feel this on your skin. But let me get a little bit closer. So let's see. Let me show you right here, okay? Do you see how that blurred? And then if you touch it, it's like silk. It's like silk sheets on your skin. It's phenomenal. It's I will say if there's one product I've still been kind of gatekeeping a little bit unintentionally, it's probably this. And that's only because it's tucked away in my pro kit and I don't have it like in front of me in my studio, you know? So unintentional, but now you know. So let me show you one more area too where it's going to be, oh yeah, I mean, it's kind of an insane powder. It's really fantastic. You're going to be hooked on this powder. So I'm not going to overdo it because I don't want to be too shine free. I want to still keep that glow, but just know that this is the best powder, pressed powder, excuse me. But also I'd say just powder in general. So there's the loose option, this is the pressed, but I would say and go out on a limb to say this is the best pressed powder or powder in general for deeply dehydrated skin. I wish you could feel my cheeks right now. It's so good. It's just so good. So that is the two powders that I highly recommend. Now we want to lock in the makeup, okay? We want to lock this in, but before I do, I really want to add one more product, and it is a powder product, so bear with me. And it's one you see me use on my channel on a continuous basis, but let me tell you what this does to your skin. If you have really dry skin and it looks maybe a little dull and you want to bring some like warmth to the complexion, like even more warmth other than just the liquid bronzer, and you want to add like a really beautiful filtered look to your skin, don't be afraid to add some powder products onto your complexion. Just like we said with powder, if there's one product that I highly recommend you go out and grab right away, and I talk about this all the time, but the Kosas, it's called the Sun Show. It's like a baked luminous bronzer. These are so fantastic. They come in multiple shades. This is the shade that I wear the most. It's the shade Waves. And let me just show you what this looks like on, because, oh man, it's just beautiful. It is just so beautiful. And I'm going to grab and apply it with the BK Beauty 104. It's a match made in heaven. You're just going to dive right in, coat the brush, okay? And this is going to be one of the last steps for this dry, dehydrated skin, flawless complexion routine. And you'll notice I'm not getting in there. I'm not buffing back and forth. I'm just very gently tapping it on like that. Now, I wish you could see this in person because it's just that good. And it's not going to feel dry. It's not going to feel heavy. And you don't need to worry about adding this additional powder, because if you follow this routine, you're going to be solid. You're going to feel so nourished and hydrated and like deeply quenched for your dry skin. So this is kind of like the little reward, you know? We get to reward our skin by adding that extra layer of powder that's just going to, it just gives your skin that something, that extra something. And then I like to just kind of tap it onto the majority of my nose. Just like that. Cute, simple, easy. It's just phenomenal. It's a fantastic product. Now, one last thing I'm going to do, because I want to complete my eye makeup and I want to just re-smudge out my bottom lash line after I added powder and concealer. I'm grabbing the BK Beauty. This is the 207 brush. Same luminous bronzer. This is optional. This is just a part of my aesthetic and my taste as far as makeup. So adding that soft bronzer is going to complete my eye makeup look and the rest of my makeup. And then we're going to dive into a really pretty hydrating lip combo that I can't wait to show you. So that is on. Before we do the lip combo, I'm going to use a round of setting spray. Try to avoid heavy, overly drying setting sprays if you do have deeply dry, dehydrated, parched skin. For example, you know, I love her. I love my One Size on Till Dawn. Like, this is a holy grail for me, clearly. But if you have dry skin, skip it. Go for something more hydrating and more luminous, something that's going to feel really, really nourishing and comfortable. I have been thoroughly enjoying this so much. This is the M Cosmetics Divine Water. It's a perfecting mist. You can use this pre-foundation. You can use this during foundation to add more moisture and glow. And of course, you can use this post-makeup application to settle in the powdery finish of your makeup to infuse more moisture and more glow. So Right now, to be very honest, I like the way the glow is looking on my skin, but that's because I have more oily leaning skin, right? But if you're at home, this is going to be that final step that's just going to add that juicy, glowy look to your dry skin. So don't skip it. I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to spray, so hold please. It smells really beautiful. It smells like a fresh spa day. However, it is scented, so just a warning. I will link it, but man, it feels so comfortable on my skin. I love the way that looks. Again, pre and during and post makeup, it is so, so nice. So now we can dive into the lip. And I'm really excited for the lip combo. We're gonna start with the lip liner. This one is not only very long wearing from Fenty, but I find this is a really nice creamy formula for dry lips. So if you have dry lips, this combo is gonna be amazing to go with your dry skin makeup look. So this is the new one from Fenty, and all the shades are so, so pretty, but this is the shade Extra Thigh, and these are like a creamy but very long wearing pencil. So I'm gonna apply this first, and it's gonna go really pretty with the lipstick I'm gonna put on. And you'll see these almost look shiny when they go on. So they're not gonna feel dry and too harsh and too like just stiff on your lips. But once they dry down, they don't go anywhere. So it's great. Again, Nikki and cut, so you see the whole process. Like, I'm going to clean up. I'm gonna take my Angie A505. I'm gonna straighten out this lip line, so hold please. There we go. Perfect. And last but not least, I find these to be like the best nourishing, moisturizing lipsticks that I've tried in a long time. They're the Ravi Beauty Effortless Lips. This is one of the new shades for fall that I've been obsessed with. It's the shade Daisy. Take a light, natural nude, and it's gonna pair perfectly with my more, you know, sultry eye makeup look. So taking Daisy, and it's gonna go on nice and creamy and feels super nourishing on my lips. So dry skin, dry weather approved lipstick. I'm gonna clean this up one more time. Apparently I do not have steady hands today. Okay, really pretty. Wow, that's a good combo. That's a really good combo. I was hoping it was gonna be this pretty. I worn it like a long time ago and I forgot or like a few weeks ago. But this is such a pretty lip liner. I'm gonna have to repeat this lip combo. That is so pretty. Okay, this is the look. It is glowy. It's deeply hydrating, deeply nourishing, and it's going to quench the thirst of your dry, parched winter skin. So please try this at home if you fit that description. And if you do try this technique and these products and this whole system and the whole order that I showed you, please leave that in the comments below and let me know if it helped you at all as you were going into the more dry skin weather. Refer to this video if you need any helps and tips on what to put on your skin. So I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the finished look. Everything that I have and that I've shown you, including all the other recommendations, will be linked in the description below. If you like videos like this, please watch the next ones up here. I have so many more where this came from. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would love to have you please consider subscribing to my channel so I can see you more often. And if you do, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.